of us, of me just reading the lore of the Mimic. And if you find this video extremely boring, that's on you, not on me. So that seems like a you problem. But anyways, I was very interested in it and I kind of wanted to do it. So we're on the Five Nights at Freddy's wiki. So it starts with a quote from the Mimic. Break off limbs and heads, pile them up, easy peasy. Got it. And this is from Epilogue 1. So, the Mimic is the main antagonist of the Tales from the Pizzaplex series, as well as the Ruined DLC for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which was an awesome DLC. I really hope they make another one, but that is besides the point. It was an experimental and intelligent animatronic created by Edwin Murray to copy any movement it sees and cares for his son, David Sean Murray. Well, whilst Edwin worked, after David dies in a car accident, Edwin beats the Mimic out of grief and presumably infecting it with his agony, making it immensely violent. So here's what it here's what the Mimic looks like. Costume it looks like this, and then this is some of this, and this is the stories it appears in. So let's go down. Okay, so that's basically the context and shit about it. Mis misinformation. Mimic 1, the Burnt Endo, Mushroom Man, Court Jester. Interesting. Purple Lion, the Storyteller, Tiger Rock, Gregory, Grimmick in Ruin. The Monster by Candy Cadet. That Thing in the Sinkhole by Gregory. So, well, I'll only read this about paragraph, these two paragraphs of the appearance. In the story of the Mimic is made out of a cannibalized machinery. Its head was initially made of two large white doll's eyes within a boxy metal head made from a broken down compressor. But to make it appear more real, a head, rounded narrow protuberance, is added between the eyes, like kind of like a nose. I'm guessing, as well as a hinged jaw. So there's a theory that the face of the Mimic is actually Circus Baby's face, which kind of cool. Where was I? Made of guide bars and a set of novelty chattering teeth. You know, those little chattering teeth you can get like from toy toy stores and all that. A large processor is welded to the back of its skull, which runs tangled wires all around the skull. The wires stretch toward the back of the skull, dive in and out both eye sockets, snake through the mouth, stand down the articulated neck, in turn connects to a metallic spine, which connects to a slightly curved makeshift rib cage, which links to two robot arms that end in pincer-like hands. The robot also has no legs, so kind of like Monty. Later in the story, the Mimic is beaten with a metal rod, presumably by Edwin, and that fuels it with like anger and stuff to become violent and want to kill people. One of its eyes is dangling out of the socket, hanging against its cracked fake teeth. So I'm guessing the cracked fake teeth are reminiscent of Sun and Moons in the Ruin DLC, where you know the little chattering like key teeth thing. So I think it's kind of reminiscent of those teeth. The metal used to form the Mimic's forehead and jaw were compressed into its face, and the broken teeth were shoved back into its head. Caught in torn, entangled wires, the rest of its wiring was pulled away from its metallic spine, which was bent backwards, so kind of like scoliosis for a robot. The Mimic's rib cage was crushed in numerous places. Its arms hung askew, so kind of like it like just hung off its body, and its pincers were mutilated, so almost unrecognizable. And then he was fixed by Fazbear Entertainment and with legs added to him. He is 7 feet. He has a steel frame for his head, and the only part of his body that is shiny is his steel skull. And when given a cleaning protocol, his eyes will glow orange, but when he's attacking people, his eyes glow white and his pupils turn completely black. And then in the seventh epilogue, he becomes a spider, and with and he has an eye on one leg and another on its back. It has 9 legs instead of a spider's usual 8. One of the legs extending from where the creature's mouth should have been. So kind of like a nightmare DJ Music Man. The Mimic also wears many suits. He has a green jester suit, a fuchsia white mushroom costume. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. A bright pink, yellow, and green jester costume, a fuchsia and white mushroom costume, a grayish purple lion, a dog with a spiked collar, a monkey, a blonde dog, a gray mouse, a yellow cat, and a blue dog. In the storyteller, the mimic is described as a tiger busting the inside of an artificial baobab tree set in the middle of the Pizza Plex's atrium, aka Tiger Rock, I'm guessing. Which leads us to the next paragraph. In Tiger Rock, the mimic is described very similarly to the storyteller, appearing as a large metallic white tiger that has fur. He wears white leather bell-bottom pants studded with gold baubles. He also has a gold medallion on. He has the normal broad, round face of a tiger, with circle ears jutting from the top of his head. Tiger Rock's face is predominantly white, with few faint black stripes that radiate out from the muzzle, the nose, to create a diamond pattern that embraces his white nose and mouth. He has a few incandescent whiskers, and his teeth are nearly transparent and pulse with softly colored light. His eyes are two different colors, one glowing in deep emerald green and the other a light blue. They also glow neon. Later on in the story, Tiger Rock takes multiple more forms, including a white metal owl, a white metal cat, and a white metal clock. All of these share the same eyes as Tiger Rock himself. Now we have the the look from the Ruin DLC. It has a smaller squared off head similar to older classic endoskeleton models with vaguely humanoid teeth, similar to the daycare attendant's endoskeleton's teeth. What was I saying? Its right hand also resembles the classic endoskeleton one with 4 fingers on it. Well, this shit is good. With 4 fingers on it, while the left hand resembles the one Burn Trap has. Which brings me to another theory that I really love, that the Mimic was Burn Trap all along and not William Afton. Meaning that he stole voice lines from the other games that had William Afton, like the laughing, because you can hear vague laughing in the boss fight with um, Burn Trap. Both its legs are also different from one another. The left leg has some sort of wiring encasing it and looks similar to withered Bonnie, while the right one resembles Spring Bonnie's. There's an outlet on the back of its head. Now to the personality. It was designed to copy Edwin Murray's son's actions, being playful and occasionally mischievous, such as when David hid inside of one of the Fazbear Entertainment character costumes. The animatronic followed suit. After David dies, Edwin beats the mimic viciously and infuses it with his agony before leaving. The prey, the once infantile friendly mimic, had been turned into a cold, barbaric killing machine. So basically, it's this motherfucker's fault that the mimic is now evil. So, yay. In the Ruined DLC, these violent traits are put on full display. The mimic has demonstrated an adaptness at disguising its appearance to hide its endoskeleton body. As seen in the Scooper ending, and additionally, it is a master of deception, as evidence its use of Gregory's voice to lure the former friend, Cassie, into a trap under the premise that the real Gregory was trapped. In reality, the mimic had been deceiving her the entire time, manipulating her into inadvertently freeing itself. The mimic is highly resourceful and demonstrates a level of strategic thinking. It was able to devise a plan to escape sinkhole underneath Roxy Raceway, using its voice and mimicry whilst being incredibly patient in setting its plan into motion. In the Scooper ending, it is implied that it, the mimic can be somewhat careless, giving its lack of awareness at its surroundings, as it was caught off guard by the Scooper itself with much of its focus concentrating on capturing Cassie. In the chase itself, the mimic is shown to be ruthless, persistent, and unrelenting, as it pursues Cassie without pause even after Roxy delays its pursuit. Which is another thing. How does Roxy come back from being like killed? So we don't know. Okay, so this is just basically telling you the history. It was made by an engineer at Fazbear Entertainment, and it was made to imitate David's behavior and making sure that it's a suitable caretaker. So, and then this is a quote from when he was beating the shit out of the mimic. He, Edwin, could almost feel his murderous thoughts pouring through his muscles and transfusing through the metal into mimic systems. And then a week before Christmas, Fazbear Entertainment sends a team out to the factory to clean up a mess, and inadvertently making sure that they clean up the mimic, making him cool. The mimic hides in various costumes and pushes the men, giving each a gory death as it kills them with a superhuman strength. So, and that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. I think the story of the mimic is very interesting. Now, I want to go and read from Candy Cadet's lines. Yeah, Candy Cadet's story ruin. Can I just find like a article? Yeah. So, the story he tells is about a woman and her son living in the woods. A monster lurked in the woods before the mother caught it and trapped it in the basement. The monster commonly made noises that scared the boy, but the mother would reassure him that things would be okay and would sing the boy a lullaby at night. I just, aha, cool. Candy Cadet stories. So this, okay, the trash, no. Oh, this is from, but yeah, basically, he's telling the story of the mimic and how, and presumably, the woman and the child is Vanessa and Gregory. And I'm guessing that Vanessa would always comfort Gregory by singing a lullaby. And eventually the mimic learned it and sung the lullaby and lured Gregory downstairs. That's all I wanted to really talk about today, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure that some people will be like, oh, this is boring, but if you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe, and I love you guys. Bye.